yourself, one of the most important things a person can do is start traveling the road of self-discovery. I remember when I was first saved, I started on this road. When I was growing up, I struggled a lot with bullying. I was a very shy, timid kid, and I didn't like myself. I was the typical kind of down, discouraged teenager that would look in the mirror and wonder what is good about me. When I first got saved and I started hearing the voice of God, I knew I had to rewire myself. Because how could I ever love somebody really well if when I looked in the mirror, I could never love myself? I didn't think I was good. And I started this journey with God for 6 months. Every day, I woke up and I asked God what was one thing He loved about me. One thing. And I remember the first one took me totally by surprise. He said, the first words, He goes, "Rory, I love your personality." And it was actually the thing that I hid from people the most. It was the thing I shut down, the thing that I had gotten made fun of the most, the thing that I didn't want people in on. And it totally threw me. I knew, I was like, God, you're totally speaking, because I would never have thought that. And it started this opening up and vulnerability of going, who am I and who is God inside of me? And I think when you can answer those two questions, who am I and who is God inside of me, it is all of a sudden your whole world, especially in context of relationships, of doing life well, there's a whole new freedom that opens up when you can value and love yourself. There's an encouraging verse in Genesis 1, I just love this. In 127, God is talking about He's creating man, right? It's going through the whole creation story. But at the very end of the chapter in verse 31, it says, God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. What's crazy is that's the only time after creation, every other day He created, it was good. After He created man, He said it was very good. There was this emphasis on goodness that was created when He created us. And when I started diving into that, I realized the more I understand how much God loves me and values me and cares about me and wants to get to know me, and I start valuing and loving myself, the more I can give away. It's the basic thing that Jesus taught all the time. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor to the context that you can love yourself. And in this whole thing of relationships, even down to friendships, you have to know, how am I going to love myself well so I can actually invite somebody in to love me? And once I learn how to love myself, I can actually love somebody else. A quick story on this. I remember when I was dating my wife now, there was this, I have a love language. I am a high touch person, high touch. It's like number one for me. I would get to know your love languages if you haven't already, but high touch. And one night we had really strict boundaries because I knew I just couldn't handle too much. We were over hanging out and she just simply didn't even mean to, laid her head. She was laying down and she just brushed her head past my knee. And it kind of freaked me out. And I literally didn't know what to do because I felt all these emotions come up and I knew, I was like, this isn't the time. We're just dating. We're not even engaged. There's nothing happening. There's a trigger. Red flag. Why did I have that red flag? Because I knew me. I knew, whoa, something's going on. I value myself and I value her too much for us to stay like this right now. So I just slowly got up and I said, Mari, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to call you from outside. I'm going to have to go home early tonight. I'll let you know in the car what's going on. And I just left. I got up, I said goodbye, and I left. And then I explained to her what had happened, how I'd gotten triggered, where I was like, whoa, there was so much emotion. I want to protect our relationship, protect you, and protect me. And the way you get to that place of actually being able to protect each other, protecting yourself, is when you value yourself, when you have that self-discovery. So what I want you to do is I would encourage you to look at 10, 20 years down the road. Who do you want to be? And when you start thinking, what kind of man do you want to be? What kind of man? Not in the context of marriage, relationship. Look past that. What kind of man do you want to be? Work backwards. And that's how you start living. So write it down. Say, this is the type of man I want to be in 20 years. And then how am I going to start today to actually become the man I want to be?